Welcome, comrades. Welcome back to more Atomic Heart. I'm really worried I'm getting close to the end of the game here. I looked in my achievements, and I saw that one of the achievements I got recently was explore all of the... what are they called? All the test sites. So if I've explored all the test sites, I must be getting close to the end of the game. Oh, unless this game is just really, really awesome, and they understand that a big draw is just the combat is really good. And they give me all of the upgrades really early, and they have a ton of gameplay after you get all the upgrades. That would be awesome.
You realize you're the real creator of this pathogen?
Oh, shit, look at the whale.
I'm going.
What, do I gotta jump down there? I can't swim down there, right? No, the Palmer doesn't reach. This is weird. Oh, that's weird. That looks like climbing rock. The way that's jutting out. Oh. Oh, here's the whale boss fight. Remember, they were talking about fighting the whale, the polymer whale in that game.
Crazy ass
Nope.
pump thing killed
That's not
that
the whale
whale.
boss.
Damn.
The Dewdrop is the latest design in the field of biomechanics. Simply, it is a hydraulic pump.
Isn't that what I just said? I'm just getting started. Get over here, you little fucker!
Floating polymer here.
Are you fucked in the head?
What? What just happened? It's weird. It's not like getting any kind of texture when I apply the polymer. That attack is so weird looking. I mean, that.
What you staring at?
It reminds me of like when I shoot the robots and their model gets all fucked up because of hit punch. Oh, look at that. The fact that I'm continuously hitting him with bullets is racking up my damage because I got that damage upgrade for the launching fire and the damage. This thing shreds me. Oh, did I actually get that upgrade or did I not get that upgrade? I don't even remember. Oh, shit.
Where's your fucking button?
Oh, is it this gun that got that upgrade? Shit.
You asked for it. How do you like that, gearhead?
This is the difficult part of the fight. Alright, dude, you've got me. If you do that attack, I'm not gonna know what to do. I wonder if the trick is just to move away from it. Okay, stop it for a second. Oh wait, no, I can't do an upgrade if I do that. Oh man, you can't create enough distance to avoid that. You have to dodge it. Fuck, dude, this guy's hard. I'm not sure I'm gonna beat him on my first try. I could have gone in more prepared too. I think he might be a little low on health. I don't think he knows what to do right now. Lucky me, get some free damage. Oh man, I wasn't watching. Oh, what? I guess I'm near the end of the game. It's not like I need loot from killing this thing. Nah, that's not the right thing. I have most of the upgrades. It's not like I need to keep doing it. Aw, man, don't you just hate that when you're winning a fight and then the cutscene makes it seem like you lose the fight? Oh, I wonder if I can climb those obstacles. I mean, those obstacles. You just, like, broke the rock open and it's just these really convenient-looking climbable rocks. So funny. Alright, what did I get? So important. Oh! Doesn't this look weird? All the water disappears when you have your shield out. You can't see water. Oh, that's so weird looking. Look at that. Can I climb up here? No, I can't. This ledge looks big enough for me to stand on, but maybe not. Another cutscene.
Oh, that thing was dangerous. I didn't know if I could handle it.
And there are much more powerful robots out there. Real combat robots are far deadlier.
There aren't any combat bots here.
Not yet, but once Collective launches, they will be everywhere. And 2 of them will be equipped with beta connectors. Do you have any idea how much blood will be spilled because of one person's private ambitions?
You in the rings are driving me
these
nuts.
cutscenes,
When are you assholes gonna stop trying to pull my strings?
Ooh!
Done. Happy now?
Good
No.
decision, comrade.
No,
Major.
I am not happy about
I have
that
no
decision.
doubt that it saved
We
lives.
said destroy them,
Perhaps
and instead
many
of
more
destroying
than I
them, you
can
just
imagine.
left them in a
Let's
random
hope
spot
so.
for anyone to find. That is completely brain dead. It leaves a very, very obvious plot hole open for someone to find that in the future, and that will be a future boss. But whatever, they wouldn't be able to write the story if that didn't happen. How do I get the treasure over there? Did I miss a cave or something? No. I don't think I missed anything. I'm gonna go to the shop. No, it takes forever to climb that shit, whatever. I don't need loot. I don't need loot. I have all the upgrades. Middle mouse. Alright, middle mouse is how you use the cartridges. Is that what they're called? The cartridges? Capsules? I can't even remember what they're called. I should have applied one during that fight. How about you move back inside of cover?
Crap, what a surprise. Why'd they freeze up?
The access code has been successfully extracted from Petrov's neuropolymer memory. Combat mode has been disabled, and the robots have returned to their normal status.
Yeah, they
Well
look so
done, my
normal,
boy.
targeting me.
Everyone
lasers.
who was able to hide and survive owes you their lives. You've done me proud.
Thank you, sir. What now?
Come back to Chelome, get a checkup, and take some leave.
What? What just happened? I'm positive the game gave me a save, so I'm not that worried about where I'm gonna load in, but what the hell just happened? I fired a bullet there because I wanted to look at the reload animation, because I talked earlier in how I loved the reload animation for the pistol,
The
because
access code has been successfully
you keep
extracted
the clips that
from
you don't
Petrov's neuropolymer
you keep
memory.
the clips in the reload
Combat
animation,
mode
but
has been
not
disabled,
for the AK. You
and the
just
robots
toss
have
those clips away.
returned to their normal status. Well done, my boy.
Oh no, I'm
Everyone
stuck.
who was
How
able
did
to
this
hide and
happen?
survive owes you their lives. You've done me
Am I
proud.
falling?
Thank you, sir. What now?
Come
Normally
back
when
to
I get stuck
Chelome,
in one of
get a
these positions,
checkup
the game
and
kind
take
of
some
spits
leave.
you out somewhere.
You've earned it.
How about
Fallout.
Roger that. I'm on my way.
You didn't tell Sechenov about Collective.
Now see, I don't know if that happened because I was falling for so long, or if that happened because I was shooting the guy. Maybe you just die if you spend too long here. This is so weird. I've died here twice and I can't figure out why. I mean, I'm glad I died there. It's not like
The
that was
access
bad.
code has been successfully extracted from Petrov's neuropolymer memory. Combat mode has been disabled, and the robots have returned to their normal status. Well done,
Yeah, I
my
don't even
boy.
know what to do. Should I be more
Everyone who was
careful?
able to hide and survive owes you their lives. You've done me proud.
Thank you, sir. What now?
Come back to Chelome, get a checkup, and take some leave. You've earned it. I'll deal with the fallout from this mess.
Roger that. I'm on my way.
You didn't tell Sechenov about Filatova. Are you still planning to meet with her?
I want to see this evidence she says is so important.
Dr. Sechenov isn't going to like it, you know.
So don't tell him.
You know, something I'm worried I missed is a meeting with Granny Xena. Because I remember her saying, hey, come meet up with me, Sonny, we'll have some fucking tea. And that never happened. Alright, I'm dead. Not dead! Do you think there's any, like, treasure around here? What's the point in having this here? Just in case people fall? Like me being a fucking idiot? Look, I can just regenerate my health now. Isn't that so sweet? Oh man, do you see that down there? Is that like a graphics glitch or is there a pipe down there? I think that's just a graphics glitch. You're not supposed to be looking down there. At least they're not randomly instant killing me. I like the bridge architecture. I never really looked at it. I love the triangles. A monorail runs through there too. Yeah, I don't know if they're monorails. I think they're monorails. I remember seeing only one rail per car, but it might be two.
Think
Then
we
it
should
would
head
be a
upstairs?
monorail.
A lighthouse, huh? So where is she? Larissa! Freaking critters, you around here somewhere?
I do not
He said
detect
freaking
anyone in the vicinity.
Let's take a look around. She's gotta be here.
Do you trust Dr. Filatova?
I don't
No.
trust anyone. But she's got something important to tell me. And I'm sure Dr. Sechenov is hiding
Yeah, I guess I
something.
trust her.
Has Dr.
Sechenov,
Sechenov ever told you about his plans?
Not really. I mean, he's never really had to, but now this whole thing with Petrov, Jellyman killed Stock and the boss didn't even bat an eye. Is the launch of Collective really so important he can't even delay it out of respect for the dead?
I have no data on this topic, Comrade Major.
No data, huh? Well, I don't have any data either. So let's go get some.
Now this doesn't seem like where I was supposed to go. Oh, okay. You just go down from there. I dashed. Nothing happened. Maybe I was just barely too low, and for some reason, that is not an object that the player can mount. Well, I didn't want that. How do I drop? I don't think I can. Oh man. This is gonna be annoying. Trying to get the perfect height to not grab onto that and not be too low that I can't mount that. Ugh, dude, how are you supposed to do this? There's probably a button and I just don't know it for dropping off of that thing. And why would I know it? This is another reason why I'm positive this game was not play tested by anyone other than the developers. Because the developers obviously know what button they have to press here, but why would the player? It's not F, it's not Q, it's not E. I mean, those are my abilities. Why would it be that? It's not down. I guess I would expect it to be F or down, but it's not either of those. Dude, you can't get in. Dude, it's not possible, I swear. They specifically made it impossible. This is another reason why I'm just positive no one play tested this. Like, that was perfect. That should have been the perfect angle. The other problem is that whenever the game registers you dashing, it tries to get you to climb onto something. Maybe I should try just getting the perfect angle without dashing. Yeah, that was the trick. I just had to get the perfect angle without dashing. Still, that doesn't mean it's well programmed. You absolutely should not be automatically grabbing everything you dash into. Or, no, that's not fair. Maybe you should be doing that, but there should be an on-screen prop for how to drop from that. I guess I'll try down. I don't know. Oh, no, this is the... See, how would I know? Imagine if she's just randomly up there and the quest was to go down there because reasons. And then I get a cutscene, and then I can't explore the rest of the area. Did I see something else? I thought I saw some blue, but it was nowhere near the lighthouse. This is probably a waste. We're probably going to come up here after we talk.
What do we have here? A chair and a TV? This isn't what I was expecting.
What were you expecting? I suspect that this room has a specific function.
I don't like this. Sussy wussy.
I believe that the unscheduled acceleration was caused by the elevator access system being hacked. Otherwise, Dr. Filatova would not have been able to initiate it.
So she hacked the system. Kinda like how all these poor bastards got hacked to bits. So that's Neptune, huh? Looks nice. Actually, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
a
it
rapture.
does look amazing.
I wouldn't mind spending some time there myself.
People thought this game was just like Bioshock.
I can't even imagine what's going
you better
on there
fucking
right now.
believe it now.
Comrade Sechenov asked you to return to Chelome. How will you explain this delay?
We can deal with that. Let's talk to the doc first. But if she tries to take off again, she's gonna regret it. I'm sick of playing cat and mouse with her.
Get used to it, buddy. I'm not actually gonna shoot her in the head. Do I have my guns down here? No, I can't. This is a safe.
What are we
this is like
doing
a
here?
safety area.
What do
I
you
can't.
want?
Just hear
my
me out,
gun.
P3. Let me try to give you a different perspective, and then you can decide how to handle things.
All
Do
right,
you
can
know
stop
how
making, like,
Sechenov is planning to
NPC
use
hand
Collective?
motions,
What he's going to do with it?
After Collective launches, people will be able to control robots with their minds, and they won't be able to stab each other in the back anymore. Sounds nice.
I used to think that way too, but that's not how things really are. Collective isn't just about controlling robots. Sechenov will be able to control everyone who's a part of Collective. Collective is diabolical, Nechayev. It's even worse than slavery.
Bullshit. It's just the same old chain of command, but on a virtual network. What's so awful about that?
Come on, see for yourself.
Well, I don't have questions.
I've got
but
questions.
I guess I have questions.
Where are we?
This is the Academy of Consequences,
I guess that's a
the
good
facility's
question.
memory, analytics center, and primary archive. The activities of all
I'm
the
just
other
kinda go with the
complexes are
flow
studied
guy.
here in order to draw conclusions and generate probability matrices.
Get to the point.
The Academy
asked.
has a number of interesting departments. For example, there's the Radio of the Future. By mathematically combining shortwave and quantum echoes, we can predict the music people will be listening to 50 or even 80 years into the future.
Alright, no, he's right.
But there's
Get to the
another
point.
very special department here called Polymerized Subject Behavioral Psychology. They're supposed to be volunteers, but...
How'd you get in here? Why didn't the Drofus stop you?
I work here. Well, I used to. Only Sechenov can revoke my access. And he's got his hands full right now. And I'm no threat to him.
Get to the point. And no more grenades or other bullshit. Any funny business at all and I'll kill you. This is your last warning.
Sure, fine. Come on, I won't waste your time.
Didn't I have more buttons?
Okay, lead on.
Maybe I didn't. I was really expecting us to go through this door, not that door. I have my, I don't have my abilities. All I have is shield. What, you want me to go in first? Sussy wussy. Look at this chamber. This is a gas chamber. You want me to go first into the gas chamber, huh, bitch? I guess it's not a gas chamber.
Well, are you ready? Disable polarization.
Look at the happy robot jumping up and down. Look at all the happy robots.
Fuck is this place? A haunted house or something?
It's a tomb of the mind. The volunteers who lay the foundation for Collective.
Oh, they're people. And they're all
First few
wearing
groups of
pasties.
subjects all died. Group 30 went insane. Group 73 killed themselves.
Oh,
Group
never mind.
101
Some of
killed
them are
each
just-
other.
oh, man.
Group 204 was the most successful. They all survived. Their consciousness is now in an imaginary world. We call it Limbo. And their bodies are here, under my complete control. Want me to make them do something?
Why?
Exactly.
To show that I'm not lying?
No,
Whatever.
I have no reason not to
Line 'em
believe
up.
you. But the way you said, want me to make them do something, makes it seem like you really like controlling them.
Keep going.
The fat guy. Tell him to jump. He could use it.
Just him? Why don't I make them all jump? After all, we all live in a communist society. Goddamn you, jump!
I guess I was gonna say, I guess my character likes to control people too.
This is
Jeez,
insane.
they sound distressed.
Why do you people even do this shit? Fuck. Poor bastards.
No, that's where
I
you're
heard- it's not
wrong.
like I didn't hear her. I
Chemically
heard that
speaking,
their
they're all
consciousness aren't
perfectly
in their
happy.
body, but
That's what
I
Collective
don't
is
know.
all
I don't know
about.
what that
The entire
means
world
exactly, 'cause
will
we
be
can't do
just
that in the
like
Why would
Does that mean
Sechenov
they
want to
can't
turn
feel
everyone
pain?
into a bunch of idiots? Was he trying to make fun of the world by making people run around naked and act like animals?
No. We were able to prevent the degradation of individual consciousness. Memories, behavior, speech patterns are all preserved. But there's one thing they won't be able to avoid. The complete loss of their free
I never
will.
played it, but it reminds me of the game so much. I watched someone else play it.
We gotta stop this.
Stop this. That's what Victor was trying to do. You got in his way, and now it's too late.
Your boyfriend lost his mind and killed people. He tried to tell me Sechenov taught the robots to kill during the design phase. Why would Boss do that?
Why? Why did he design Collective to be a mind control system? Why does he need those special neurocontrollers? Sechenov wants to enslave the entire world. I'm sorry, but if you don't understand that, you're an idiot!
The Boss would never do that.
He would, and he will.
You just don't want to believe it.
On Monday.
All this is really hard to swallow. But I'll help you. Whatever you're planning, I'm in.
You're willing to turn on Sechenov.
Finally.
After what you just showed me?
I have the beta.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the beta
I want to
connectors.
hear what he's got to say.
Oh, now you want to turn on Sechenov. It sure would be fucking helpful to have those, huh? It sure would have been fucking helpful to have those, so now you could destroy them, maybe? P1, P2, P3? Who's P1? Who's P2? I'm P3.
A man can be repaired.
A man chooses.
What?
Dude, now it's just full
What was
Bioshock.
that?
What's what?
Nothing. I'm just digesting what I saw. Why did you help me?
Perhaps because I care?
I love
And
the trippy
besides, it's
vision.
not about you. Well, not only you.
They
If you worked here, then
they
why
have
didn't you
our
try to
walking
stop
speeds
this?
equal.
I
These
thought it was
developers
for the best.
know what they're
I thought
doing
it was for the
in
good of the
some
entire
aspect of the
Soviet
game.
Union. But when I realized what was really going on, I had to bide my time, wait for the right moment. Victor and I risked everything and you know the rest.
Fine, moving on.
The test subject is not leaving limbo. Inject neurotransmitters.
Hey, Major.
I'm fine. My head's been killing me lately. I've been seeing things. This is one hell of a job, let me tell you.
It won't hurt, soldier. You won't even remember a thing.
That was Charles' voice. Don't call it strange voice. I can
Hallucinations are
recognize
serious
that.
business. Well, I am a neurosurgeon. I can probably help if everything ends well.
No thanks. A little vacation will fix me right up. I mean, if this all ends well.
Fine.
Listen, about Victor,
What? Did you have no choice? You couldn't have acted differently? Will you now tell me that you're
So
sorry?
not fair.
What?
He was a cornered rat. Cornered rats don't have to kill themselves.
I am sorry.
I should have said I'm
Well,
not
I'm
sorry
not.
because I'm not sorry.
I should be, but Victor, no other outcome was possible.
Yeah, it wasn't. He
it
killed
wasn't even
himself.
quite him at that point. I don't want to talk about
I
it.
even can theorize, since he's dead, and I will never get to see the
I
outcome.
just don't
I can
feel
theorize
comfortable
that
around these
if he
people.
didn't kill himself in
well,
that moment,
just you
he
wait.
might have survived to
Soon
the point
this
where
is
he was
gonna
teaming
happen
up with
all
us at
over
this
the
point.
Soviet Union, and later the whole world. Then you'll see all people stripped of their free will.
You know,
Nice, look at that one dancing.
free will doesn't guarantee that a person won't be a scumbag.
What? Are you justifying atrocities?
That's a fact.
Atrocities? What atrocities? If they're volunteers, coming here was their choice. It's got nothing to do with me.
You're a monster.
Affirmative. That's enough. I'm too busy to chat right now.
Very well. Enjoy the view.
Ass, dude. I'm putting up my shields. You can't talk to me anymore. I'm putting up my shields. Putting up my big boy shields to block all the women. I have a gun, but I don't have gun. Where's gun? Oh, I guess I don't have gun. I can't shock, but I can shield. I wonder why they did that. I wonder why they made it so that you can use shield in areas like this, other than the fact that they want you to be able to regenerate health during these scenes, which is pretty cool. Gotta stop and get all the loot, even though it's the end of the game. I can feel it. I can feel it's the end of the game. That's not a save point? I mean, it doesn't look like a save point door, but... Oh, come on! I wanted this! That's everything, right? Oh, that's not everything. What's over there? Wait a minute, Filatova! Oh, never mind, I can't even get over there. It's a fucking decoy. They're just trying to distract you. You gotta be patient. I'm having hallucinations over here. Man, they really want to give you tons of time to walk through this area. Look, that's the key code
fuck.
locks.
I'm so sick of these goddamn hallucinations.
Do you see colorful spots before your eyes? Does your perception of the world change?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what this shit is?
You were crossing into limbo, but it can't be stopped. How did you interrupt it?
I don't know. It's like that lump of polymer is calling out to me.
Did they explain
a
what
big
limbo is? I mean, I know what limbo is in
teardrop-shaped
real life,
one.
but did they explain
Right
what
there,
limbo
straight
is
above
in
us.
terms of the
Do you
game?
see it?
There's
I don't
nothing
remember.
there.
What do you mean? I'm looking right at it. Oh crap, now it's gone.
It's a hallucinatory reaction, a side effect of the surgery you underwent. The reaction of a damaged brain to the presence of a neuropolymer implant.
What are you even talking about? What implant?
Did Sechenov not tell you? So you don't know what's happening to you?
Charles, do you know what's happening with my head?
I am not detecting any internal changes, Major. But your Vossard polymer extension is clearly receiving an unidentified stream of external data.
Charles is bullshitting.
What's
He
that
knows what's going
interface? Who are you talking to?
It's a chatting artificial librarian, an AI in my polymer glove. It doesn't matter. Charles,
on. Charles
what are you
isn't in the
talking
glove, He's
about?
in my head.
Charles?
Wait, Charles, what data? What Vossard polymer extension?
The Vossard polymer extension was developed using data from experiments conducted by Dmitri and myself.
What? Yourself? And why are you calling Dr. Sechenov Dmitri? Who are you?
Comrade Major, this will be difficult to explain. I am...
Charles, why the fuck are you all staticky? What the hell is going on?
Keep it together, Major. If what I'm thinking is true, I should be
increased
able
my
to
walk
access
speed, now
the
they can
archive
sus.
right now. There will be records about you.
State your name and personal access code.
Crispy critters.
Invalid name.
Fine, I'll hack in.
Not so fast. Name Chariton Zaharov. Code Fluffy.
Code accepted. Access granted.
Charles, are you there?
Nothing?
Nothing. So, what is Charles then?
Long story
You
short,
exit?
your Charles is Professor Chariton Zaharov.
Huh, that was short. So how could he be Zaharov?
Professor Zaharov was developing the collective
I've heard that name.
subsystems and worked on the module. The one you have inside you. They told us he ran a number of experiments on himself. The result was disastrous and unpredictable.
On himself? Was he an idiot or something?
Oh, he certainly wasn't an idiot. Zaharov was a misanthrope obsessed with science. I don't think he cared about what happened to his body all that much.
When did you realize that Charles is Zaharov? But she was only just introduced to Charles. That seems like kind of a
So
dumb
when did you
question.
realize that Charles is Zaharov?
Just about right now.
Exactly.
When he went offline. I had no idea Sechenov had stashed his
You didn't know my
consciousness into
glove
your
had
glove.
a consciousness.
It was the abbreviation Charles that tipped me off.
So Charles isn't a person anymore.
Well, why couldn't his
Just
consciousness have been
a
moved
device.
over?
I don't know, I guess he is. Except this device
like
is
the
based
people in
on the
that
logical
Sister
paradigm and
Group I
experience of
before.
one of the brightest Soviet geniuses.
So why does Sechenov want him?
Because Sechenov never dismisses what he can use. It's easier for him to change everything to fit his needs. I guess you noticed this already. What's funny is that you seem to have made friends with your glove.
Well, we've been through a lot. I've got feelings, you know, being alive and all. So does he.
Did.
So his consciousness
How
is
can
there?
you talk about this so calmly?
To me, Chariton Radionovich died a long time ago. I'm done mourning him. And besides, I'm a scientist. We're more impassionate towards death than to muddling one's brains.
So, how do we get in?
Only a small bunch of people have permanent access to the archive. Sechenov, Lebedev, the director of the academy, and Zaharov. Like you reminded me.
Fluffy, huh? So what would we have done if the password hadn't worked?
I'm sure you would have smashed the door with your bare fists. But now Archivist thinks I am Dr. Zaharov, so we got lucky. And now we can learn everything about you. Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome, Chariton Zaharov. What is the subject of your query today?
Agent P3, personal file.
Your search returned 42 audio records.
So, which one do you want first?
I couldn't care less.
Then pick one at random.
Are they activated by the terminal? God, this is gonna be a lot of exposition. 40? Oh my god, there's more than 40? I can't jump here. Holy shit, I move fast. Bring Lisa a record. Where are they? I can't find any of the records. I was scanning around, and I think those pink, purple things are the records were open. The music's getting more intense. I only have a certain amount of time to read all the records. Oh man, look at all the loot. I guess it is true that you still need loot for ammo. Currency are replaced with megawatt hours. I almost wish I wasn't recording. I might just cut a lot of this out because I actually find some of this interesting. Look at that, 99% probability. Oh my god! Get rid of it. We don't want to make fun of Edison. There's so many layers to these. The story is incredible. Should be reading this. While theoretically and technically television may be feasible, commercially and financially it is an impossibility. Get rid of it. Our citizens don't care about commercial or financial success. There is no basis whatsoever on which to suggest that nuclear power will ever be possible. It would mean that man has learned to split the atom. Albert Einstein. Very good, but make sure Einstein actually said it, otherwise it'll be like his riddle. A rocket will never be able to leave the Earth's atmosphere. The working man always has been and always will be, but the robot is nothing more than a flash in the pan. I don't think I quite get that one. I don't know what the expression "a flash in the pan." Oh, does that mean it's just a passing thing? Does that mean it's temporary? That doesn't exactly make sense. Oh, that's a great one. Television won't be able to hold on to any market it captures after the first 6 months. People will soon get tired of staring at a plywood box every night. The optics. Where a calculator like ENIAC, the first computer... Oh, I'm glad they put that caption as I didn't know what ENIAC was. Today is equipped with 18,000 vacuum tubes and weighs 30 tons. Computers in the future may only have 100 vacuum tubes and probably only weigh 1.5 tons. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a great quote. Popular mechanics into Russian. The optics. Oh my god. There is practically no chance communicating space satellites will be used to provide better telephone, telegraph, television, or radio services inside the United States. Underscore the fact that maybe they can't do it, but we sure can. Oh, did I mute myself? I don't know what happened there. My mic is really fucking annoying. Sometimes it hits up against my chair and it gets caught on the armrest. Sorry, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if I muted myself. I don't know if I muted the game audio. I don't actually know what happened. Sorry about that. I'll try to avoid that. Yeah, I like that. I like that quote. There is no reason for any individual to have a computer in their home. I feel like I didn't read a lot of these, like, as well as I should have. Telephone has too many shortcomings to be considered a serious means of communication. He didn't say serious. To be seriously considered, that's why I said that. The Americans have need of the telephone, but we do not. We have plenty of messenger boys. That is so brain dead. What a dumb quote. Fooling around with alternating currents. Yeah, that's when I started to take this serious. That's when I started reading these to take this seriously. I'm not reading all of them because I don't know if it's actually going to be interesting. Thanks for all the fish! To put it bluntly, what's the point in flying to the far reaches of space when our own home holds more secrets than any other planet? Michael, it's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way. I'd like to conduct a certain experiment, give them free rein, and curtail any security measures. I want to know if even Soviet citizens and faculty employees can be capable of moral failings. After 2 months, find an excuse for us to visit the place and tell them that Vavilov has achieved amazing results and we want to celebrate it. Invite VIPs. I want to see this with my own eyes. Unambiguous reports about what's been going on at the theater. God damn it! What the hell? Why is that happening now more than it used to? The mic thing. Let's see. There's a comrade section on lecture. Hypothetically speaking, thanks to today's discovery of supplemental biphoton quantum entanglement, I can actually send this letter into the past, say 30 years ago, to myself at this very terminal. For example, I can write a message to myself dated June 9th, 1955, saying, "Run! The robots have revolted, save yourself! Unfortunately, this is just a theory. We're actually quite far from actually communicating with the past, so I'll have to carry the memory of that day until my death 63 years from now.
After the incident, plutonium's brain was no longer suitable for a spark polymer extension. So I designed a similar polymer-based brain function extension
This is
for
like a
him
fucking
called
ARG. There's so much
Voskhod.
information here.
Cheriton, may he rest in peace, would be pleased to hear that his designs had not been wasted.
I wonder who plutonium is. Plutonium is recovering following neural adjustments and the installation of the spark module. He has no memory of his wife. Am I plutonium? The events in Bulgaria or any of the other data you indicated. He is extremely tenuous. Psychological? Is that psychological? He is in an extremely is that tenuous? He is in an extremely tenuous psychological and emotional state. As an active Argentum agent, he is already fit for duty, awaiting your orders. P.S. Unfortunately, during a key phase of the adjustment, an employee expressed sympathy with the agents, describing them as returning from their ordeal. An employee? An unnamed employee. I wonder if that's me or if that's someone who I adopted my character adopted the phrase crispy critters from. This expression has since become an inextricable part of the agent's oh man, I can't read that. Psychorhythmic? No idea what that word is. And emotional background. That's incredible. So no, the employee who said crispy critters is not me. It is someone who who my character adapted the phrase from. An emotional background. If necessary, we could perform another adjustment in order to fix this linguistic oddity, but that would take some time. Oh, it is so worth it to read the information in this room. Can't jump. Frowny face. You sank my submarine, D8! Are you cheating again? You sank my aircraft carrier! What are you, simple? If you got a hit at A10, then there can't be anything at B10. Did you forget that you can't put the ships right next to each other, or is this gonna be like last time? Are you nuts? Do you really think I can see what you're doing from up there? Why are you using your workspace to play Battleship? You really think I can't see what you're doing from up there? Why are you using your workspace to play Battleship? They told me not to let the Klimov brothers work together, but I didn't listen. If I see this again, I keep one of you here and have the other one transferred to Vavilov to plant potatoes. Get back to work. Oh yeah, they love potatoes. Vice? Is that Vice or... That must be Vice. Vice is a psychological condition. In the magnum opus of the opium of the masses, the Bible, this is demonstrated clearly. I'm having a little trouble with the phrasing of that sentence. In the magnum opus of the opium of the masses, the Bible... Oh, in the magnum opus of the opium of the masses, which they are calling the Bible, this is clearly demonstrated, if indirectly. See, I don't know if they're referring to a book called Opium of the Masses, and they're calling it the magnum opus, and in the Opium of the Masses, they refer to the Bible. No, see, that sentence is just really confusing. Man learned of vice not after eating of a mystical... I'm really unfamiliar with Bible stuff, so no wonder I can't understand that sentence. Man learned of vice not after eating of a mystical fruit, but after coming to know himself. The body dictates vice to us. We want to procreate. We want to become rapists and perverts. We want to eat so we steal money and food. We want pleasure, so we surround ourselves with senseless luxury. Man is not given to vice on his own. What pushes him toward it is his limitless, primitive shell, which requires food, sex, drugs, and care. Only the brilliance of pure intellect can illuminate mankind's path forward, because man is not a body, he is a way of thinking. Zaharov, this is my glove. I don't know who Lebedev is. In response to those who are curious about the radio of the future, yes, we really can listen to radio broadcasts from the future, literally. How does it work? If you read any of my previous papers, you'll find out. But you aren't really interested in that technical details, are you? Wow, fucking condescending you are. No, I really am. You're interested in what it can do for you. You want to know if you can buy a lottery ticket knowing that it will win, or avoid a nuclear holocaust, am I right? It's not that simple. What we are hearing is a probable future. That's interesting. What could happen in 10, 30, or 50 years based on what's happening right now. I'm sure that this theory has a name in real life, but this is the first time I'm hearing of it, and I find this very interesting, this concept of a probable future that could change. But we have never, I repeat, never heard the same broadcast twice. A week ago, the Soviet Union crumbled in 1989 and ceased to exist as a country. What? A week ago, the Soviet Union crumbled. Wow! That's our reality, isn't it? Holy shit! They just referenced our reality. That's so meta. This morning we heard a presentation by the General Secretary of the Communist Party from 1999. One day we intercepted an emergency message about the launch of nuclear missiles in 1976. I was horrified. The future does not exist yet. Please remember that. All we can hear is an echo of an infinite quantumized multivariance, okay. An infinite quantumized multivariance, and extract the most frequently repeated tendencies from it. What we'll actually see tomorrow is entirely in our hands. Amazing, oh my god. 7? I got half 7 mail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. Oh, no, I clicked on the first one, okay. This is Lebedev again. The last one was Lebedev, right? No. Doesn't matter. Comrade Kilmov, do you seriously want to get data on an alternative timeline in which the Third Reich never invented the V2 rocket? Holy fucking shit! You want to know how the world would be different? Okay, I'll tell you. It wouldn't. Do you know why? Because the invention of new weapons is called an arms race for a reason. If it's a race, that means someone has to come in first. In our history, the Germans came in first, although it didn't particularly help them, but the Americans were nipping at their heels as were we and the Brits. Got it. God, I feel like such a fucking idiot sometimes. Yes, the V2 had an astonishing influence on missile design and the space program, but it was just a matter of time. Can you tell me who invented the radio? Was it Popov? Marconi? Hertz? Tesla? Do you know what's really interesting? What would have happened if the damn fascists hadn't invented that plague of theirs? Holy shit. Of theirs, and mowed down half the world's population. From now, don't bother the alternative prediction department with childish questions in the vein of who'd win in a fight, a shark or a bear? The bear, obviously. This is amazing, oh my god. All the shit you have to put up with in this game is so worth it to get to this room. Important message, let's go B2. This was from Kilmov. I'm starting to know who Kilmov is just from reading so many messages. I'm starting to know who all these people I don't know is just from reading all these messages. Miss A10. Oh, they're playing Battleship. Let's go, B2! Miss A10. Miss, give up already, B10. Are you nuts? Oh, this is the same. I already read this. I haven't read this. I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, Dimitri, I don't want a new body. And this has nothing to do with me putting on airs, as you put it. There's just no point. I'm much more productive in this state. It's simply more practical and useful for myself and for you. You already have your Katarina? Katarina? Katarina is a League of Legends champion. I've never seen Katarina or Katarina. Katarina? I don't know. You already have your Katarina dolls following you around. Leave me be. Huh. That's fucking fascinating. Oh shit, did I just mute again? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. God, I gotta get a new chair. And some... this is from Kilmov. There's 2 Kilmovs. I saw earlier that there... Oh! Were the Kilmovs the Kilmov brothers? Oh, yeah, the Kilmov brothers. Okay. So there's M Kilmov and Y Kilmov. And some conclusions at the end, it's really dry. Just a little while ago, what if conversations were? Just a little while ago, what if conversations were? Oh, that's a comma. I thought that was a period. What if conversations were, at best, the preview of statisticians? I've never seen the word statistician. And I've seen that word a million times. Analysts. That word says analysts. I'm not an idiot. the purview, and that said purview. Did I say preview? The purview of statisticians and analysts, depending on the topic in question. But today, thanks to Lebedev's quantum systems, predicting alternate histories has literally become a science. This has allowed us to get a very accurate report on the history of the Soviet Union and World War II if the party had not approved Sechenov's project to roboticize our troops in the late 30s. This theoretical report has received the designation 5P at the I know that word, at the Academy of Consequences. Stage 1, defeat. Due to the novelty of the technology and the weak adaptation of our manufacturing capabilities, the robots turned out to be unable to resist Wehrmacht's forces? Unable to resist Wehrmacht. That sounds like they were saying were matched. Like they were matched by those forces. That's, I don't know, tripping me up with these Russian names. Wehrmacht's forces. I'm probably not pronouncing it right. The initial casualties are colossal. The Soviet Union loses all its territory up in Moscow. Stage 2, regrouping. Towards the middle of the war, human casualties and pressures from the Reich become so great that the Red Army's only salvation lies in building more advanced combat robots in order to make up for lost soldiers. Fascinating. The process of manufacturing new combat robots is reformed and enhanced in... I know what Siberia is, but I don't know what Urals is. It must be a place. Stage 3, respite. Seeing the Soviet Union's defeat and refusing to believe in upcoming robot upgrades, Allied troops concentrate their forces and become more aggressive, since they understand that the Red Army will no longer be cannon fodder in the European war. The Reich halts its advance deep into the Soviet Union and switches to the Western Front. Stage 4, breaking point. Massive battalions and robotic troops with various functions carry out highly effective sudden attacks, reclaiming our captured territory in a matter of weeks. Fascinating. In the winter, their mobility and lack of resilience on food and medicine, right, that makes sense, give the Soviet machines a massive advantage. Stage 5, victory. Even before the creation of the V-2 rocket and the failure of the Brown Plague, Soviet robots liberated most of Europe, since the world's population is never reduced by illness. We find ourselves in a fragile world where a weakened Soviet Union is forced to rely on the might of its technology. I just grew in height a little bit. I'm standing on my tippy toes to read this. Creepy! This is from Sarajev. That's not Sechenov, even though it looks like Sechenov. Hi, Christina. I left 2 devices on overnight. An Anfisa and a lighthouse. I usually use them to test speech-based inter-system communication protocols. I wanted them just to exchange phrases, then keep going based on the progressive Turing method. I know that. I learned that in school. I know what Turing is, but I've forgotten at this point. Here are the results. It's pretty creepy. I'll probably just wipe one of them tonight.
Oh, you've got a very large data exchange sector, Beacon.
Oh my god, it's
I'd
sexual.
like to interface with it right now.
When I analyze the dimensions of your chassis, I experience an overload in my neurocomposite architecture, Betsy.
Charles mentioned
My
this when we were in the
system's
theater
core
about robots
processors have
posing
begun to
sexual
consume a large quantity
poses,
of
and
electricity.
it just being something that they
I
emulate.
demand that you interface with my system immediately and transmit all your data to me in large packets, Beacon.
That kind of connection can be dangerous, Betsy. You know, humans will see a digital sign of my presence.
Oh my god.
Please,
This
can
is
you
supposed
wait
to be
while I
funny, and
activate
it
the
really is,
firewall?
but
No,
just
Beacon, I don't want to
the
wait
scope of this
any
whole thing
longer.
is just
Sorting
got me
your data through a
dumbfounded.
firewall will make information exchange
Awestruck.
less pleasurable. Please accept my access protocol right away.
Quiet, Betsy. A scientist is approaching.
God
That's
damn
cute.
it.
What do we have here? What the hell? Stop recording!
Stop recording? We still need to think about all the names, since terms come about naturally, just like slang, but for now, here are our orders regarding articles. What? Oh. This is about naming, right? YVDNH. We can use the following terms: intergram, or Soyuz system, in a unified information field that can be accessed via a computer terminal. Slide, a unit of information space in the system. Try not to use the term page under any circumstances. It's unprofessional. Yeah, right. Application, a small program that grants the user access to a certain function. Do not use the following terms: social network. Soviet users do not have access to any networks, socialist or otherwise. Come up with something cleaner. They don't have access to networks? Glitch. What kind of word is this anyway? It sounds like nonsense. Use error, malfunction, or some other word, or some other normal word. That's hilarious. I've said glitch so many times in these playthroughs. Stylus. I keep seeing this. That's Burjois. I don't know how to pronounce the word, but I know the word, and I've heard people say it a million times, and I have so much trouble pronouncing this word. Burgois. Is it bourgeoisie? Is this? I keep seeing this bourgeoisie faux Latin word. Use pen or light pen instead. I think that's how you pronounce that. A bourgeoisie faux Latin. While designing the latest Android models, we have had to focus only on utilitarian tasks, but also on commercial viability. Our products are exported all over the world, and they need to look and feel like something from the Soviet Union. In other words, we need to focus on what the Americans call design. We spent a long time discussing which elements will be most recognizable when it comes to robots, names, designs, functions, etc. Then all these ballerinas, Natashas, and such started showing up. Everything, from a robot's appearance to its quality, should scream, made in the USSR. Attention, equipment manager, provide me with 2 prototype ballerina bodies, this is Sechenov, and disconnect them from the neural network. Delete their AI modules. I need 2 blank robots without any control systems. Incorrect terms. Sajdiev or Sajdiev? Comrade oh, that's so long. Yevstigneyeva. Normally I think Russian names are really beautiful sounding, but this one is just kind of long. Like, I don't know why. I would kind of not appreciate having a name that long. I've been seeing more sloppy use of terms in our publications register. Again, remember, robot is a general term for any manufactured mechanism based on robotics. It's an automatic device designed to perform various mechanical operations that act according to a previously established program. An android is a humanoid robot with various functions. You keep mixing up every robot that can communicate with an android. You keep mixing up every robot that can communicate with an android. Please be more mindful of this. The term biorobot has been prohibited by Comrade Sechenov himself and may not be used in any way. Words like automaton, doll, and machine have no place in our publications. Is there like a save station somewhere in this room? There's so much deposition here. There really should be a save state here. About Noshkin. This is really cruel, Maria. I get it. Noshkin is a pig. But this is just unprofessional. What if he actually goes to the supervisor, or even worse, Sechenov, and starts talking about how his work is magically cataloging itself? Then, when they see who's doing it and find out it's just a nasty prank, what are you going to tell them? That Nashkin seduced you in Gagra and wouldn't marry you, so you started sabotaging the lab? You need to stop. If anyone asks me about this, I wouldn't cover up for you. I'm serious, Maria. It's happening again. My catalogs are splitting up and restructuring, not resurrecting. There's no Z in that word. Restructuring themselves on their own. I measured it. I've got a spreadsheet. I think the entire archive is operating like Collective, only separately. What if we accidentally create a self-learning system that can think and make decisions? I mean, with all the other insane stuff going on here, does that really sound crazy? I'm gonna try and run a reverse Turing test on it. I haven't slept in 72 hours, but if I'm right, we're all getting a promotion. Sorry again about what happened last winter. Agents Blesna and Plutonium are extremely valuable employees. Saving their lives is a top priority. This is Sechenov. I will perform the operation myself. Now that I'm seeing Plutonium referred to in this way, I'm thinking more and more that it is me. And that makes me wonder who Blesna is. On behalf of faculty management and myself personally, I would like to congratulate you all on a magnificent beginning to this reporting period. Our close-knit team has proven yet again that a spirit of camaraderie and efficient teamwork can yield stunning results. In regard to the aforementioned, it is my pleasure to announce that this month every archive employee will be getting a bonus. And, in the interest of enlightenment, everyone will also receive complimentary tickets to Director Lastochkin's theatrical performance. Contact the venue for details. Thank you, comrades. Thank you, comrade. Got no save point over here or anything? Oh, got a few more upstairs to read. Fix this ASAP. I've gone over the materials for the Science of Life article, but in nature there is no competition with the same... I've gone over the materials for the Science and Life article, but in nature there is no competition within the same species, only among different species. A wolf eats a rabbit, but a rabbit doesn't eat another rabbit. What? There is no logic to that. It eats grass. Don't they compete for grass? I mean, no, obviously rabbits don't compete for grass. There's an abundance of grass, but... Oh, maybe that's right. No, it's not right. There are animals that compete within their own species, like bears. There are animals that compete for mating rights. No, there's no logic that went into this. It eats grass, nor this is just an anecdotal fallacy. He's taking one single example of an animal that doesn't compete within the same species. An animal of prey, take that into account. This is not a predator. And he's acting like it applies to all animals. Nor does wheat get in the way of other wheat, but wheatgrass, saltbush, and sow thistles are all different species. So what if they show up somewhere where wheat isn't growing? They will take its food and compete with it. Who wrote the... Oh, okay, yeah. Who wrote this nonsense? Are you trying to embarrass the entire Soviet Union with this crap? This is absolutely embarrassing, whoever wrote that. Dear Comrade Semistchev, I am utterly stunned by your careless attitude to the censorship of materials that have been published following your consultation in a number of periodicals. References to the complex as cut off from real life or having poor connection to our production facilities are simply false. Vavilov Complex is, first and foremost, a scientific institute that operates according to a specific plan. Our theoretical work is bound up in the most substantial way with practical issues related to seed cultivation and the faculty's future designs. A man would have to be blind to deny the enormous accomplishments Vavilov's team has made in so little time and under such trying circumstances. The institution's research is laying the foundation necessary to develop a real-world project to conquer new worlds. Going forward, please be more mindful of how our work is depicted in print. Report Vavilov. Double check the data, especially about the dandelions. It's clearly in error. What are we supposed to do with 40 tons of... the tons? Oh, yeah, okay, tons. What are we supposed to do with 40 tons of dandelions on Mars? Make dandelion wine? Why not? Project Hemlock has been halted and deemed unfit for further study. You are hereby informed that all materials pertaining to Hemlock are to be cataloged as top secret under designation A2, organized and filed in the appropriate sections. Any further references to it in other documentations are to be redacted via the standard system. Be especially mindful of information about any employees who were allegedly injured during the past project. Delete the names of all casualties. Excerpt from Life magazine. Despite its secrecy, there's that word again. Argentium silver. Argentium means silver. Has already, Argentium directly translates to silver, but what they're referring to might not be silver exactly. Has already become the stuff of legend in a number of European and American publications. Journalists are surprised by this extremely small staff, its incredible training and equipment, and its name, which is very atypical of the Soviet Union. You've got to admit, compared to abbreviations like SMERSH and NKVO, it comes off as odd and clumsy. It does? I think it comes off as more elegant. Rumors vary. The squad's soldiers are described either as enormous red-eyed bears who eat children or athletic blonde supermen. They are either described as enormous red-eyed bears who eat children or athletic blonde supermen. I read that as the bears eat children or athletic people. The bears eat both of those things, not the bears eat children or they are depicted as athletic blonde supermen. Just another shitty part of the English language. Ambiguity. One look at whom... Well, I guess that's the only shitty thing about the English language. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. One look at whom would have driven Hitler to dissolve the Reich and admit the Germans' Übermensch's defeat. They are a mystery and will remain one, but we can say this much for certain. Argentium is certainly the best trained Special Forces squad on Earth, and given the Soviet Union's plans, it could become the best trained squad on the solar system before long. Comrade Sechenov. Oh, I can't see who this is from. Comrade Sechenov, following the events in Bulgaria, agents Belsina and Plutonium have been returned in a coma. They are in a vegetative state and are not connected to the neural networks. No signs of consciousness have been observed. Awaiting your orders. Article by Tom Wolfe. Universal robotization of the Soviet Union can be considered a most curious case of modern hypocrisy, ignoring any populist questions about whether or not robots that pass the Turing test have personal identities. Merrily would be spelled with 2 R's. I am merely pointing out how absurd and at the same time sinister the widespread use of this workforce is. Judge for yourself. A nation whose guiding light is an ideology that embraced equality and strive to end the exploration of workers and peasants by capital has now subordinated an entire army of soulless machines that can satisfy its every whim. I don't know anything about Collective 2.0, but I'd say the Soviet Union is Capitalism 2.0 writ. I don't know what the word writ means, or I don't know how to pronounce that either. I don't know what it means, I don't know how to pronounce that. The only question is when these robots will be deemed will demand equal rights for themselves, and how bloody the revolution will be. Fascinating! That is a very interesting article on the acceleration of evolution. Despite all their talent and the indisputable success achieved by Vavilov's research assistants, there is a concern regarding an issue that, while predictable, can only be confirmed in practice. This problem is more profound than preparing seeds for inhospitable conditions on other planets. Unlike scientists, evolutionary mechanisms do not make predictions or evaluate risks, they simply function. What if their function is to make predictions? They simply function, culling the weak and rewarding the strong. Now that's true. Dozens or even hundreds of factors will affect the growth and development of our cultures. So it makes sense to suggest that. Oh, I kind of see what it's saying. Mechanisms don't make predictions, and if they did make predictions, they would be based off culling the weak and rewarding the strong. That's what their algorithm would be doing. It would be culling weak data points and rewarding strong data points. That's how machine learning works. Dozens or even hundreds of factors will affect the growth and development of our cultures, so it makes sense to suggest that while working with the genetics of plants, we should begin by breeding them faster for faster growth and renewal rather than trying to foresee every minor detail about them. We just need to give evolution a shot in the arm, and it'll do the rest for us, which is how it's always been, by the way. A lecture by Kaimov? Speaker, when I give talks in the Soviet Union and allied countries, I am often asked whether it makes sense to focus scientific progress on making fundamental changes to the human race. We could, for example, teach people to change the properties of their skin in order to make more resistant to heat or cold, or regrow lost limbs like certain reptiles, or control their biochemistry on a basic level. In other words, to rephrase a well-known thesis, should we strive for evolution in the individual? From the room, skeptical laughter. Speaker, my answer is no. I must admit that this is a defeatist attitude, but my objection does not lie in some bourgeoisie conception of man as the pinnacle of creation. We have access to powerful technology, and yet we should not alter ourselves to suit our environment. This would be a step backwards. We have access to powerful technology, and yet we should not alter ourselves to suit our environment. This would be a step backwards. Instead, we must perfect science in order to fully subjugate nature itself, whether it be here on Earth or somewhere else. Fascinating. Deleted. To Sechenov. Comrade Sechenov, there was a fire in Comrade Zakharov's lab this morning. The professor was found dead. It is obvious that he had independently performed an unauthorized neurosurgical procedure using remote-controlled medical robots. His remains are being analyzed, awaiting your orders. This is an excerpt from Debate Club Minutes. What? Speaker, maintain... Oh my god, I'm snorting like DSP. Talking this much is giving me fucking phlegm in my nose. Speaker 1, maintaining the high level of technology Soviet science has achieved obviously... I'm not reading this right. Maintaining the high level of technology Soviet science has achieved obviously requires people of profound intellect. This is why the fear that a situation could arise in which technology allows society to become stupider is irrational. This is why the fear that a situation could arise in which technology allows society to become stupider is irrational. That's fascinating. Otherwise, this level of technology would be ultimately unsustainable. Speaker 2, but if this threatens to divide mankind into two different groups, a smaller group with big brains that does all the intellectual activity, and another massive group with tiny brains that either does the simplest jobs or does nothing at all because machines do everything for them. This is a pretty gloomy future, but is it even possible? This is exactly why the populations ideological education needs to be our #1 priority. This is exactly why the population's ideological education... Oh my god, this is so fascinating. No topic. Get over here right now, please. Something wrong. Privilov. Dumb and Dumber. Please change the workspace assignments for Y and M, Kilmov, and put them as far from each other as possible. Despite these employees' excellent performance, they're finally getting split. Their productivity plummets when they're able to converse with one another. Employees must have been complaining about their loud laughter and inappropriate jokes. You should be ashamed of yourself. I am I am shocked. While things at the facility usually shock me in a good way, this time I am simply outraged. The latest innovation is analyzing the structure of the future have allowed your lab assistants to make predictions of incredible accuracy and importance. And what are they doing? That's right, they're logging into our systems to hear the latest music from the radio of the future. I have no intention of disparaging the achievements of this project. Hearing music that will not be written for 30 years is truly a scientific marvel, but only for the layman. Your employees are men of science, not greasers in leather jackets and tight jeans. If anyone else comes here to save themselves a copy of the latest Billie fucking Eilish song, I'll cut off access for a month. Damn straight! Oh my god, she is so toxic. Despite the obvious importance of the entire archive for Facility 3826, I have been unable to get authorization for additional shipments of superconductor material for over a year now. Before the accident, Snort Burnell. After the accident, Comrade Zakharov's promise to solve the problems via his personal channels. My question to you, Comrade Supervisor, is, do you have such channels of your own, and could you perhaps solve this problem for me? If not, the entire system might go belly up someday. This is to such a... Oh man, I'm getting disoriented. Is that the name I've always been looking at? The agent's tests have yielded impressive results. While immersed in limbo, this seemingly fragile young woman literally becomes an invincible fighter. The implications for training sabotage specialists, as well as our overall approach to secrecy, are enormous. That's secrecy. The fighter's memory can literally be wiped without harming their skills or personality. The term sleeper agent will take on a whole new meaning very soon.
Nechayev has emerged from his year in rehab a new man, with new habits and behaviors. For example, he's become fond of a certain euphemism. Crispy critters.
I love it. I love it. This
It
game
all
is so
started
good.
after one of the medics described him and Blesna as crispy critters.
Yes,
during his
plutonium is
recovery.
absolutely P3.
He was still in a coma at the time. He suddenly leaped out of bed and nearly strangled the medic to death. The staff subdued him by shouting, "We're under fire," after which plutonium ducked for cover, hit his head, and passed
Yeah,
out.
that sounds like something P3 would
Ever
do.
since then, crispy critters has become part of his vocabulary. Could it be an example of psychological imprinting?
God, this game is so good. They literally did this reminds me, and it's just dawning on me now how much crispy critter the phrase crispy critters reminds me of Would You Kindly. Obviously there's like no relation to how it's used for mind control, but the imprinting thing is so fascinating. There is there are similarities between the two. It's just the fact that it's not being used to control me. Comrade Privilov, is there any way to automate cataloging on a software level? According to my calculations, I spend between 5 and 7% of the time it takes me to do my paperwork filing in dates and numbers. As a result, I waste about 47 minutes a day. Oh my god, how long did you spend solving this? Which adds up to 1,260 minutes per work month, or about 21 hours. That's 2.5 work days I could be spending more efficiently. Have you lost your minds over there? Do something about this right away. Now, if I pick this up, will I have to carry it, or can it just go into my inventory for a second? Alright, cool. About the article. Here's my opinion on your article on the culture of instant messaging. All in all, I think it's well written. It's... Nope, I don't know what that word is or how to pronounce it. I'm gonna sound like an idiot if I say succulent. and it does a good job of explaining the concept of developing faster ways to transmit texts. The comparison to mail, then the telegraph, then the telephone, and then finally the terminal system is quite good. However, your frivolous dalliance, I don't know that word either, with depicting motions via text seems entirely out of place, or even theatrical. How do you... God, I'm getting the burps. How do you imagine people will use punctuation to fill a text-based message with emotional context? People still don't even understand the difference between a dash and hyphen, or a comma and a semicolon. Absolutely true. And you want to start using these characters to communicate their mood? It's truly absurd. Get rid of it. Ekaterina, I read what you wrote about using a colon and a parentheses to make a smiley face. It's a cute idea, but Privolov will never approve something like that. I think you'd be better off doing it in a different way. Remember how people used to abbreviate the words in telegrams? Maybe you want to show... Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. That is such a... Oh my god, that's so funny. That's so funny. I'm not laughing, but that is so fucking funny. They were just talking about how the Soviets love to use abbreviations, and they put all capitals, and it's an, it's not, no, it is anagram. They just make things into an anagram, and, instead of doing, like, the thing that's popular in our reality, they have this stupid fucking all capitals thing that no one would have any interest in using. That's so funny. Maybe in this universe it makes more sense though. Like, I don't, it only seems that way to me because I'm in this reality. Maybe it really is like that, and maybe that really is the better alternative since they're living in the Soviet reality. I don't know. Dmitri, Dmitri, I read your plan to install me in an implant module. I value your persistence, but I must repeat yet again, I have no desire for arms, legs, hair, or the need to waste time eating and going to the bathroom. I'm fine, Dmitri. But your weak-minded desire to anthropomorphize everything under the sun is making me uneasy. Instead of thinking about how you could put me into the head of some muscle-bound member of the Communist Youth League, why don't you find a way to cast off the burden of your own aging flesh? Fascinating. From a comprehensive article from Technology for Kids about the facility in the West, smart, educated people call us Homo Soviet. I can't even pronounce it, and I'm in the West. Homo Sovieticus. They're proud to have discovered this type of person, so they came up with this nice name. They also use it. Well, no shit. They also use this name to humiliate us and put us down. They don't realize we've done something more. We were the first to breed this type of person, but in the West, all they can do is come up with new words for things, and that is so true. We love to redefine things. But is that not Soviet influence? Russian propaganda is inflating. I don't know what to believe. And they think this contribution to history is just so everyone's clear, I'm not taking a stance one way or the other on whether or not Russia is influencing the United States in our universe. And they think this contribution to history is much more important than our accomplishments. The West's high opinion of itself is deserving of ridicule, absolutely. At Sechenov's request, find references to Homo Sovieticus throughout the entire database and change it to Homo Futurum in every instance.
Yes, it's part of the experiment. You won't see anyone. Not me, not anyone else. Okay,
after
subject.
I'm done reading
you
all
will
this
now
stuff,
have a conversation with
before I
two
give
young
her the
women.
audio clips,
Their names are
check
Betsy
and make sure my
That's
computer's
me.
not running
And
out
Olga.
of space for
Hello.
recording. I don't know how
I
long
need
I've
you
been
to talk
recording.
to them and tell me which of the young ladies you spoke to is not a human being, but an artificially generated voice. Is that clear?
Yeah, sure. I get it.
You may begin.
So, Betsy, do you have any kids?
I'm afraid not. But I want to have two when I finish my internship in
Betsy's
about
a
3
robot.
years or so.
Huh. Okay.
He's not.
And here's the last one. Olga, could you ever kill someone?
Me? I don't know. Maybe if they were an enemy or trying to hurt people.
Olga's not a robot.
Yeah, I guess I could do it to protect the motherland.
It's going to turn out that
Excellent.
they're all robots,
We're done
though.
here. So, which of the two young women you spoke with is a
He's
machine?
absolutely going to say they're both robots.
I think it's Betsy. Yes.
Of course.
So,
Everyone's
you
gonna
think
say that.
Olga is human?
That makes sense to me.
Please note that I never told you that either of them was human.
Exactly.
So they're both machines?
Actually, none of the individuals you've spoken to during this experiment are human. Thank you for your time. Please escort the subject out.
Kind of obvious, though. That's something that's really prevalent, like, today. The Raven 1 satellite was launched into orbit, but we were immediately notified that it had a malfunction. That's the official version, anyway. The unofficial version is more complicated. Can't read that. Oh, those are the bosses I've been fighting! Samples on the orbiting satellite began to behave in a completely unexpected fashion in zero gravity and independently terminated communications with Earth. 2 years later, in 1957, we're planning to send a remote-controlled module disguised as another satellite to shed some light on the events. But until then, Raven 1 will be described as a failed, shuttered project in all official documents. Fascinating. This is from Sechenov. Plutonium will be removed from Argentium. He will report directly to me. As for this linguistic oddity of his, leave it be. I will give him elements of a new personality, perform the necessary operations, install the module, and put him in a hospital room under surveillance. We can always turn a positive into a negative. Yeah, of course, none of my memories are real.
I only need one for now.
Yeah, I was wondering if I can pick up more than one at a time. Not like that's important. Doubts. So as you know, I am extremely old, and believe me, as a man who has dedicated his entire life to the science of life itself, no one is more surprised by this than me. What I mean to say is that the seduction of longevity, which I am subject to, and to which I have no doubt any living being would similarly have pursued, now seems monstrous to me. Back then, when I first met Dmitry Sechenov as a patient on his operating table, as a patient on his own operating table, it's not saying own, I'm putting emphasis on that because there should be emphasis on that. I could never have imagined I might feel weighed down by the burden of life he worked so hard to save. Maybe it shouldn't have emphasis on that because in this universe it's so normal for people to operate on themselves, but not in our world. No, my friend. There is no joy in a long life, much less an eternal one. Yeah, that's a very commonly... everyone says that. Everyone who has eternal life always says eternal life is not what it's cracked up to be. But you know what? No one who doesn't have eternal life says it's not cracked up for. It doesn't make any sense. Like a shark living in icy waters for half a millennium, I am now swimming in the incessant flow of life, able to observe the achievements of colleagues whose name I can barely recall. Oh man, trying to recall those who came before and whose names are lost forever in history. This lengthy forward leads me to my conclusion. Comrade Nikitin, your request to undergo life-extending procedures is officially denied. Please do not pursue this matter any further. There is no point. From Pavlov to Nikitin. Experimental department and individual data. This is just statistics. You gotta specify dogs, male and female, but you don't specify cats. You don't specify the pigs. I don't know much about dogs. I like dogs, but I don't know much about dogs, so maybe that does make sense. Vivisection is a cruel procedure that is justly considered unethical. When I begin an experiment that will result in the death of an animal, I feel a profound sense of regret at cutting short an exuberant life and acting as the executioner of another living being. Gah, you fucking better. When I cut into and violate a living animal, I must smother within myself that bit of reproach that I am, with my coarse and disrespectful hand, breaking a machine of transcendent artistry. I know what transcendent is. I'm just going back and making sure I'm reading this properly. Of transcendent artistry, but I do this in pursuit of truth, to help my fellow man. However, in recent years I have begun to suspect that certain similar experiments are being conducted at my complex without my knowledge, of course, not on animals, but on that fellow man himself. Due to my frailty and hectic schedule, I have been unable to confirm these suspicions, for which reason I am requesting that you immediately send me any archival information about any such acts transpiring on the premise. Needless to say, if this practice does in fact exist, I mean to nip it in the bud. Is this a response to that? Vitally? You know that Comrade Pavlov has been a little anxious lately, and I am aware that he keeps sending you requests for archival data on it's not a direct response, it's to the same person, I think, on various projects from Pavlov, especially on the threshold of the launch of Collective 2.0. So I've got a little request for you. Comrade Pavlov is, shall we say, getting on in years. We should try to keep his worries to a minimum. He's a talented scientist, but he's become painfully sentimental in his recent years. If you get any requests regarding particularly complex issues, just stall him for a bit and tell me right away. I'll make it worth your while. That is disgusting. Progress by leaps and bounds has become typical of humanity in this challenging 20th century against the background of tremendous inequality. Breakthroughs in science and technology can seem not just astonishing, but even insulting. But this is a sociology and political matter. Right now, I want to contemplate the issues of the individual who, feeling himself in the state of accelerated freefall, is being flung forward faster and faster by progress, much like pseudoscientific fears voiced when the railroads were being built, when the suggestion was actually made that the sight of the landscape whizzing by at 50 kilometers an hour would drive passengers mad. It's calling that pseudoscience, okay. I'm not disagreeing with that. I was just going back and clarifying the point. I am beset by similar predictions. Just 25 years ago, more than half of the Soviet citizens were illiterate. Today, we are flying into space. What awaits us tomorrow? Will we have time to catch our breath before our next great leap?
As a young man, Plutonium, now P3, was confident and funny, which played a key role in his assignment to Argentum. He was a promising operative, but lagged behind many other candidates in a number of ways. However, the positive influence and infectious good humor he imparted to his fellow servicemen, especially in comparison to the more morose Commander Kuznetsov, served as a compelling reason to recruit him. Because of this, the emergence of a more intimate relationship between him and Agent Blesna was only a matter of time.
Blesna, that was the other agent. From Zakharov to Sechenov, you don't understand me, or is it that you don't want to? Are you afraid of losing the man who will give you your brilliant future? No, I'm not particularly fond of the human race you love so dearly, but that's not the reason, Dmitri. I'm the only one who can sort out all the finer points from the inside. The implant can only be configured and analyzed from within subject's consciousness. No test subject, whether it be a rat or even a human being, can perform this kind of research. You are preventing me from continuing my work. Fascinating. So I've read all of them. I don't know what my plan is. I don't know if I'm going to edit this video together with the one where I listened to all this dialogue, but I am going to pause here for a second and check and see if I'm running out of space on my computer. Alright, so I checked how much space it's actually consuming, and it's consuming like no space. It's basically consuming no space. So I was worrying for nothing. It turns out, the reason why I was worried, though, is, it seems to consume, these video files seem to consume a lot more space once I run them through a video editing software. I do edit it together with some audio, with an audio. I record my audio separately and I sync them, because for some reason when I record in OBS, even though volume is turned up to max in OBS, I'm still so quiet in the recordings. And I don't have that problem with Audacity, so I just use Audacity. And my voice is so much louder in Audacity, and I'm not even on the max setting, so yeah, that's why I do that. And once I throw the video file in with the MP3 file, it just makes the size shoot up to like 30 gigs, but when it's not edited, it's like 3 gigs.
Try this one.
It's a
Commencing
1000%
playback.
increase.
The events in Bulgaria left the agents badly injured. Technically speaking, they were clinically dead. Agent Blesna could not be saved. Since
No, it's
Agent
not 1,000.
Plutonium's condition was less severe, it was possible to return him to combat readiness. However, his nearly destroyed limbs had to be amputated and replaced with the latest prostheses.
Yeah, I already know half my body's prosthetic. What else is new?
These are just general observations. Find another recording.
There's supposed to be like 42 recordings. There was only one recording on that thing. I guess I'll use this one first.
Okay, play this one.
Commencing playback.
Following his recovery, the agent's personality was altered significantly, including his behavioral and speech patterns. Because of this, I made the decision to remove the agent from the Argentum unit. In order to prevent any possibility of memory recidivism, Plutonium received a new call sign, P3, and is now under my direct command and observation. P3's contact with Argentum has been kept to a minimum, and Argentum personnel have been warned against mentioning the call sign Blesna in P3's presence.
Crispy. I'll get another one.
What? Sechenov has you on a leash. He does whatever he wants with you.
What do you mean,
Listen,
what?
Doc, he saved
These
my
are
life.
about
Do you
my
think I don't
character.
know I'm a test
Do you
subject?
really think I don't
That's
want to
my job.
hear everything there is?
So you're a volunteer, huh? Then why are you such a disobedient test subject?
Because before they always told me what they were doing. I'll go get another recording.
You mean that you thought they always told you what they were doing? Because clearly they didn't. Only 3 recordings? Oh, I grabbed the one from over here. I didn't grab the one from over there. There's no other recordings down here? I mean, there was all this information. Whatever. I appreciate this incredible
Here's another
exposition dump.
Let's
I've
give
never
this
been
one a
so
spin.
happy to read for like an hour straight.
Implant the
That
Voskhod
is such a shitty thing
neuropolymer
to say.
brain
Of course I've been
function
happy to
extension.
read.
Objective: total elimination of destructive impulses triggered by
My
traumatic
fucking
memories.
username is a novel.
Patient Major Sergei Nechayev. Codename Plutonium. Attempt number 3. The first 2 operations were unsuccessful. The patient suffered a severe brain injury in Bulgaria, which could not be repaired. The damage is of such severity that the patient will likely have to be euthanized.
Did you hear that? He wanted to kill you.
The frontal lobes are partially destroyed, causing the patient to experience bouts of uncontrollable rage. The patient's steel prostheses render him
Theorized it might have
dangerous
been
to
the best
those
course of
around
action.
him.
He didn't even say
And that's
that
about
it
your
was.
seizures.
Due to the incidence of temporary insanity, the
very
patient is
dishonest thing to
immersed in a surreal psychedelic reality that prevents him from accepting the consequences
Especially with
of
my
his
character in an
aggressive
emotional
behavior.
state like this.
I don't get it. Can you translate for me?
You're not gonna like it.
The patient experiences intense hallucinations. Did you see your wife again, my boy? How did you know that? Yet a Voskhod implant will give the patient artificial memories and allow him to overcome his obsession with his deceased wife.
Your wife.
It's all bullshit. I've never been married.
With Voskhod, we can send the agent's consciousness into the imaginary world of limbo via a
just like when I
pulse
turned into a
aimed
rabbit.
directly at his pituitary gland, switching the Major into combat mode on command.
Or maybe not.
I'd like to add that I am strongly opposed.
What a load of crap. I mean, there's no fucking way.
I'm afraid there is. Sechenov can send your mind to your own private paradise with the push of a button.
And my body?
Your body will kill whoever he tells it to.
And you feel safe around me.
Fucking horseshit. What about the hallucinations? Are they also setting off?
I don't
No.
want to risk pausing this.
The hallucinations are just your brain's defense mechanism.
Why the hell should I believe any of this? The boss would never do this to me.
Why should you believe any of this? Maybe
Just
the
like he'd
evidence
never
is
wipe your
mounting.
wife's existence from your memory. Just like he'd never designed Collective to be a mind control system.
Who said Sechenov did any of that stuff? You can't even tell who's in that chair.
If you don't believe me, go ask him.
It's so funny, like, wasn't my character already ready to betray Sechenov? Like, when we were walking through the catwalks
What's
and she
the
was
plan,
showing me
Major?
all the, pasty girls. And the plan is that
He's
combat
waiting for
mode
us
just
at
got
Chalamet.
activated.
If we want to stop Sechenov, we'll have to string him along.
So you bring me there as your captive, and then what?
And then we play it by ear.
So that's how it is, Major. Think it over while I try to hack this elevator and get us back to the surface.
Uh-huh. Paying attention now, dickbag?
Major, I have no data about this incident.
Trying to make a monkey out of me, are you? Well, join the club. Don't have any data, huh? You've always
I love
known
that
about all
animation of me
this.
gripping my left
There's a
hand.
reason you're called Charles,
Oh,
right?
I love
You're
these animations of me talking to my
Char-a-ton.
hand.
Zaharov, you son of a bitch. Got an explanation? Huh?
There's nothing to explain, Major. You're just as much a Charles to me as I am a perfect stranger to you. First, Sechenov murdered me. Then he turned me into a blob of polymer goo. Then he brainwashed
You murdered
and
yourself,
manipulated
according
you.
to those logs.
How could I trust either of you? That's why I pretended to be the chatting artificial librarian. I wanted to see who was who.
I kind of believe that because Charles certainly doesn't seem like
I
he's
guess I
on
would have
Sechenov's
done the
side.
same. So what are we gonna do now, huh?
What else can we do, Sergei? You and
Was
I
Charles'
are friends
name
now,
always
and
split
we
like
know
that?
the truth. We need to get to Sechenov, rectify this injustice, and get revenge for what he's done to us.
I guess you're right, Chariton. Justice does need to be done.
You're a good man, Comrade Major. I hate to say this, but you're the first functional example of an ordinary link in the collective network. On Monday, everyone who has undergone polymerization will become just as malleable as you.
Shit, I can't let that happen. Listen, the fucking gadget, the thought device, you can just take it off.
Unfortunately, that won't help anyone. It just makes things worse.
How
Computers will
come?
want to put them on them.
Because all your thoughts are useless. A polymerized person's signal will be transmitted to robots and other equipment via their thought controller. But it is not what makes them a part of collective. The thought device can be removed, but this merely prevents the wearer from being able to make calls and give orders to machines.
So how is Sechenov gonna keep everybody under control?
It's the neuropolymer injection that makes people part of collective. It embeds itself in the brain and connects it to the neural network once and for all. The effect of this injection cannot be undone. Everyone who gets an injection will be part of collective forever.
But was I really married? What was my wife's name?
Ekaterina. And you aren't going to like what I'm about to tell you, Comrade Major.
I've heard that before, but I doubt anything could surprise me now.
You and your wife served with the Argentum unit. Ekaterina, or Katya as you called her, was a highly qualified agent. As a child, she studied ballet and made significant achievements in both dance and martial arts.
Ballet and martial arts? Are you trying to tell me the boss is metal twins? No way, this is total BS. The boss would never do something like that.
Just look at me, Comrade Major. After I died, my consciousness was transplanted into this glove. After your wife died, her consciousness could not be saved. But Sechenov uploaded an imprint of her professional skills into his bodyguard's matrices.
This is... holy shit. Fuck me, this can't be a...
We've got a ride, Major. We can get out of here.
Oh, the game was just saved. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to end the episode here and edit this together with the last thing I recorded. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you in the next one. I'm probably going to do that just because I feel like this belonged with the rest of the exposition dump. Yeah. Like if you want to see more. I always forget to say like. I always just say subscribe. Subscribe and like if you want to see more. I'll see you in the next one. My game just saved, so yeah, I'm safe.